A new age of monsters is set to hit the Marvel Universe, and at the epicenter of it all is the not-so-jolly Green Giant. What'll happen next? Well, let's hop into the pages of The Incredible Hulk issue number 1. The kickoff to a brand new series from Philip Kennedy Johnson, and see what happens next together, shall we? So then, as we join the book, we're introduced to some would-be tomb raiders. They're currently robbing a grave somewhere in Iran, when they end up coming across something very strange. This ancient tomb isn't filled with gold and jewels, it's filled with the corpses of what can only be considered, well, monsters. At first, the grave robbers assumed that these must be the corpses of ancient mutants. I mean, they had mutants all the way back there, right? That's the only way to explain this sort of stuff. Things quickly go from bad to worse for this lot when one of the women touch a strange shrunken head. She goes all exorcist really quick, speaking in a demonic tone, saying that the green door is closed and now our enemies cannot stop us. At this point, all of those monster corpses end up springing back to life. I suppose they weren't nearly as dead as they first seemed. From there, we check on in with Bruce Banner. What's he up to right now? Well, doing what he normally does, drifting across America, running from his own demons, and we can tell he's been running for a long time now because he's sporting a brand new long-haired look. Bruce drops into a local Greasy Spoon diner to try and get some food for the road. However, the longer he's there, things start getting really creepy and really trippy real quick. The Hulk once again starts speaking through reflections, calling Banner weak and a fool, and that soon he will control their whole body. So yeah, these two are at odds again. How about that? I know it feels like Bruce and the Hulk have been doing the whole Jekyll and Hyde thing since forever, but hey, you know what? If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I will say though, the relationship seems a lot more abusive and a lot darker than it normally does. Bruce ends up running away from the diner trying to save everyone, only to end up blacking out. When he comes to, the entire building has been glassed, and the only clue left behind is a piece of green graffiti saying, "This is your fault." Yeah. The Hulk really might just be the roommate from hell, am I right? Of course, if I'm remembering the last run correctly, Banner did try and lock the Hulk away somewhere in his mind, and he did kind of turn him into a starship, so yeah, maybe there's a reason why they're on such bad terms. Now, Banner and the Hulk actually aren't the only characters we're going to be following this series, as we're actually introduced to a new ride-along POV. She's a young girl looking to fix up her grandma's old Mustang so she can leave this dead-end town, and her abusive drunken father. Sadly though, she makes a little too much noise when restoring the car, and she ends up getting chased into the very same woods that the Hulk is currently occupying. It's also around this time too we are reintroduced to the Eldest. You'll remember her if you read that David Papo's annual. At first glance, the Eldest and her followers look like any old regular suited G-men who normally chase after the Hulk, but what they're harboring underneath is actually something much more sinister. You see, these people actually aren't human at all. They're some sort of twisted, otherworldly nightmare monsters who walk around in human skin. It seems that they've been chasing after the Hulk for a while now, referring to him as the fractured sun, whose god skin will allow them to reawaken their master, the mother of horrors. It goes a lot deeper than that too. Not only do these weird monster people seem to know the Hulk on a deeper level than anyone ever has before, but one of the monster ladies claims to actually be the Hulk's wife. When we meet up with Banner again, he's been cornered by a group of FBI agents who claim to be here partly on request from Tony Stark, who it would seem is still harboring a grudge from the end of the Kate's years. To protect himself, Banner ends up hulking out, and we see that the long hair carries over to the Hulk form. I like it, looks good. The Jade Giant dispatches the FBI agents, and at the other end of the force, we see that young girl's drunk father caught up with her. He wraps his car around a tree, and she proceeds to beat the ever-loving crap out of him. Clearly, rage isn't just for Hulks anymore. Clearly, this young lady is going to be very important because as her hood falls down, we see she has a massive scar on her face. Maybe it's a burn, maybe it's a birthmark, but it just screams this will be important later. Her drunk dad's unconscious body doesn't go to waste either, as more of those weird monsters come upon it. One eats all the flesh and then ends up putting on the skin like a suit, claiming that they're close to the Hulk. But it looks like if they're going to catch the fractured sun, they're going to have to get a little bit more creative. Because of that, the Eldest puts out a message that only monsters can hear, those who dwell in caves and under bridges. A message to characters like the Moloids and even Man-Thing. She says that the old laws are broken, and that their creator, the mother of horrors, will reward anyone who is able to capture the Hulk and bring him to them. And as the comic comes to a close, that young girl running deeper into the forest ends up coming face to face with a rampaging Hulk, who now seems to have officially become public enemy number one within the monster community. And so that was The Incredible Hulk Hulk issue number 1, everybody, and I gotta say, Philip Kennedy Johnson manages to kick this one off in great style. Johnson really is becoming one of the biggest names to watch at both Marvel and DC. I was worried not reading the Kate's years I wouldn't actually know what was going on in this story, but thankfully it was really easy to pick up. Hell, if you were a fan of the cosmic horror stuff that was going on in the Al Ewing book, then you're probably gonna take to this one like a fish to water because they seek to use the Green Door and all the stuff that came before as a great jumping off point. I actually really like the introduction of these new villains. The Mother of Horrors, the Eldest, and all these other skin suit people are wonderfully creepy, and the promise that the Hulk is going to be crossing paths with some of the other great Marvel monsters is a great pitch. The art is wonderfully creepy too. They do a great job establishing a mood, and I hope that this series can keep this momentum going forward, because if so, I think we're going to be in for a great time. Overall, I would give this one a very positive 8 out of 10. Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quest. That's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow, and help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.